News coming in from the top court. Supreme Court pulls up Udhayanidhi Stalin over that Sanatana slanderous remark. Remember that Junior Stalin had given that remark about eradicating Sanatana Dharma. Supreme Court has said to Udhayanidhi Stalin, you have abused your rights. Supreme Court has very categorically, this is a sharp attack at Udhayanidhi Stalin of Dravida Munnetra Karagam to say you've abused your rights under 19(1)(a) and 25. You know what you have said, and that has come under 32. You should have realized the consequences. You're a minister, not a layman. Supreme Court has clearly taken on the comment that he had made about how Sanatana Dharma is like, and remember, not referring to any one aspect of the religion that is discriminatory, but to say this whole religion, Sanatana Dharma, needs to be eradicated. And Supreme Court has now said to Stalin Jr., you abused your rights. There are rights given as per Constitution to speak, but you know what you have said. You're a minister. You're not a layman to be saying anything. Didn't you know the consequences? Stalin has, interestingly, Stalin Jr., still extremely defiant and has told the Supreme Court, club the FIRs against me. So basically, ever since he had made that comment, there were different FIRs across the states that were filed against him. He has said, club those FIRs against me. And that is possibly because for every of those FIR, he may have to make an appearance and respectively in those states as well. Udhayanidhi Stalin is clearly come under fire. We'll try and get you more details of what precisely happened in the top court. Our legal correspondent, Srishti Ojha, joining me right now. Srishti, go ahead. Do tell us about what precisely happened in the court and what exactly did the court say and what has Udhayanidhi Stalin said.
Well, yes, Pooja, like you said, there were multiple FIRs which were registered against Udhayanidhi Stalin for his remarks over the Sanatana Dharma. After that, he's moved to top court seeking clubbing of all those FIRs. Today, even Senior Advocate A.M. Singhvi mentioned that as many as 6 FIRs have been registered against him in different states. The top court has made some strong remarks saying that Udhayanidhi Stalin has already abused his right under Articles 19(1) and 25. Basically, court saying that he's already abused his right to freedom of speech and expression and right to freedom of religion. And now he's approached the top court under its writ jurisdiction. Court also said that he knows exactly the statements that he had made. He should have known the consequences as well, considering he's not a layman, he's a minister himself. His lawyer, however, told court that there have been similar cases in the past of journalists where the Supreme Court has intervened and directed the clubbing of FIRs to one place. His lawyer also told court that if he decides, after the court suggested that Udhayanidhi Stalin should maybe approach the High Court instead, the court also, Udhayanidhi Stalin's lawyer also told court that he'll have to move different high courts because multiple FIRs have been filed and he'll just be caught up in doing this. He'll be tied up in this, and this would also, in a way, mean that there's persecution before there's even prosecution for the alleged crime. So the court has decided to hear the matter again next week after taking note of all the judgments which have been cited on behalf of Mr. Singhvi for Udhayanidhi Stalin. Back to you.
Srishti Ojha is telling us about the big hearing that's been on at the Supreme Court. Supreme Court saying, you're a minister, Stalin Jr., you're not a layman to be making any comment against a faith or a religion. This is what he had said. We are putting it out for you just for background, for you to know of what Udhayanidhi Stalin had said last year, that like dengue, malaria, corona, it must be eradicated. Now, Stalin Jr. had said, I was talking about caste issues, caste discrimination, but he clearly had used the word Sanatana Dharma, and that interaction, that clip had gone viral. This was September 2023, and months on, not only FIRs were filed against him, a lot of outrage with the BJP charging at the DMK in Tamil Nadu, but now the matter has reached the court as well. Srishti Ojha continues to be with us. Srishti, do tell us, just to give us a background of how legally the situation has turned troublesome for Udhayanidhi Stalin. He had FIRs, like he said, club the FIRs against him. There must have been clearly a lot of FIRs that were filed against him across the states in India.
Yes, definitely. That's also what his lawyer, Senior Advocate A.M. Singhvi, today told court, because the Supreme Court said that generally in these cases, the top court doesn't interfere directly. They ask the petitioners to approach the High Court first. Responding to the court's suggestion that he should appear the High Court, Mr. Singhvi just questioned that how many High Courts will he appear before, because as many as 6 High Courts he would have to approach, considering there are multiple FIRs which have been filed against him across the country for his remarks that he had made over Sanatana Dharma, which is why Ms. Singhvi requested the court to consider the case, citing earlier judgments in different cases where journalists where multiple FIRs were filed against multiple journalists or activists or politicians across the country, and the Supreme Court had decided to interfere, take some urgent action and actually
Yes.
order clubbing of FIRs, because it is true Supreme Court has in the past interfered and allowed clubbing of FIRs where multiple FIRs have been filed against one person across the country. So yes, Supreme Court has interfered in the past. This is also what Udhayanidhi Stalin's lawyers are relying on in this particular case. The court has, after taking note of all the judgments which Mr. Singhvi cited, and he also said that if he is asked to approach different high courts, it would also in a way constitute persecution before he's even prosecuted for the alleged crime. After that, the court decided to list the matter again, and it will be important to see whether or not the top court decides to club the FIRs, because even the clubbing of FIRs would be a big relief for him, considering there are multiple FIRs. It would be at least some sigh of relief for him if the top court interferes. Back to you.
Very interesting. Srishti Ojha is telling us about what precisely was said in the Supreme Court over Udhayanidhi Stalin, who had made those comments. It hadn't gone down well, and even the DMK leaders and supporters had found difficult to defend once, of course, the clip went viral. So that's what's coming from Udhayanidhi Stalin.